Hello and welcome. Well, we did it. We got the Brutosaur Mount, the long boy. After saving up for 5 million gold over the last 4 months, since it got announced, we have finally got enough gold to purchase this amazing looking mount. Now the main thing here is we have an auction house on the side. So not only is it an amazing looking mount, let's go for a little stroll, but it is also serves as our mobile auction house, so we can travel anywhere, we can do anything, and then we can just pop on the auction house whenever we want. So this is a complete game changer for the mobile goblin. So this is what I've been saving up for the last 4 months. I wasn't sure whether I was going to achieve it over the last month, because since BFA came out, we did have a fair sort of amount of purchases which stalled our progress. So the main thing I want to look at today is just go through what I've done over the last 4 months, how I've earned my gold, and perhaps give you some tips and advice as to what you could do so that you could earn the 5 million for this. So if we look at my gold for the last month, is probably the most pertinent. You can see here we were steadily, and then we did a massive drop just down here where we spent the 5 million gold. But this journey started 4 months ago, back on the 16th of May, when I first found out about the mount, and when it got released I thought, right, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to go for. And you can see here, I started my chart here, and I had on me 967,000 gold, so I was almost at 1 million, so I had a head start already. I was aiming to get 5 million over the 3 months between May and August when BFA released. I didn't quite make it. You can see my chart here going up slowly, but not quite ever reaching the red line, which was my target. So when BFA came out, I started here at about 4.3 million. Now, obviously, a new expansion coming out, all the markets changed, so I had to adapt and try and find out where my new money makers were. Some people were making loads of money. I didn't have those professions. I was just starting with my main 2 professions. So I kind of stagnated. Whilst I bought materials, I invested in materials, and I kind of flatlined here at 4.3 million for about the first 2 weeks of BFA. So that's along here, and then the next rise came up here towards the end when I started selling Honourable Combatants gear. This is the tailoring gear. Well, I've just sold something already. That's Silkweave satchels being sold there. So if we have a look at my ledger, this is the kind of things that I've been selling. So if we look at this over the last 30 days, this gives you a good idea of what's currently working on my server. Now my server, Shadowsong on EU, is a relatively low population server. I think it's labelled as medium pop, but it's actually pretty low. And so luckily for me, the price of Honourable Combatants tailoring gear has been quite a good profit. We've got some good profits here, 10,000 profit, 29,000 profit on some of these. I started off by trying to sell 1 of each, and then I built that up, and I was towards now I'm selling about 7 of each. Then other small things here is obviously the shirts. They're not going to make a massive dent, but I've enjoyed selling those. I've sold a few extra things like Fjarnskagel there. I was getting rid of some of my old stock. The same here with some Starlight Rose. I got some pretty stacks going along here. And this is one of the things that has worked out really well for me in BFA, is if I've been able to get hold of any materials or ingredients quite cheaply at the beginning, and then say the price has risen over time, then I've been able to put them on for a much higher price by using a pretty stack method. So I'd look at something like the Umbra shard here, and I sold a nice stack of 50. So what I'd do is I'd go onto my auction house.
Have anything ancient to trade? Needs to be at least 2 centuries old.
And I'd look for something like, say, tide spray linen. And you'd look down this list and you go, okay, so currently it goes as low as 19 gold. My average purchase price of tide spray linen is 13 gold. So I could sell it at 19 and make a profit. But I don't really want to sell it at this price. I want to go down here and sell a stack of 200. So the first one of 200 is about here. There's another 6 of 100 here. So this looks to be the price point for neat stacks of 200. So what I'd do is I'd come in here and I'd click post. And I'd go maybe, okay, I want maximum. I've only got 101 on me at the moment. But if I had 200, then I'd put 200 in there. And then say however many stacks I had. Change the auction house value and post those on. And that's how I do a pretty stack. If I couldn't do a full stack of 200, I'd maybe look. You can see here stacks of 60 are going well because that's the turn-in for the Warfront at the moment. So it's all about knowing the market, knowing what kind of pretty stack to do. But that's been one of my goal makers in absence of anything else. I haven't had much success with enchanting, and I haven't had much success with cooking. If you look here at my enchanting, because I've only got ranks 1s and 2s of these, everything's showing a negative profit, except for the occasional weapon enchant. So I really need to get this leveled up. I'm only at level 82 of 150, so my enchanting isn't showing much of a profit here. But that said, I am still making a profit selling a lot of the old enchants, the Legion enchants, and below, because people are still buying things like the Elemental Force. Now obviously the profits are a lot less now, the price of these has really plummeted, but so has the price of the materials. So even though this is only going for 606 gold at the moment, I'm only having a crafting cost of 83 silver, amazingly. So it's really easy to make these things. So that's almost pure profit on things like that. And the other thing that has been selling quite well on the enchanting front is the Tome of Illusions. Now that people don't have artifact weapons, they want to pimp up their existing weapons. So those have been selling quite nicely. There we go, another pretty stack there of Tide Spray Linen, sold for 28 gold per item. So that's way more than my 13 gold. We've had a few sales of the Bountiful Captain's Feast. This hasn't been very profitable for me just yet. I'm still under level 120. I'm only level 118 at the moment. So not having the rank 2 and 3 of this has hurt me somewhat, even though I've managed to get things like my Midnight Salmon for a really cheap price. Cost 3 there for 944 gold. But that said, everything else is a bit too expensive there, including look at something like that, the Red Tail Loach is taking my price up too high. So I haven't been able to make as much gold as I wanted to. I was hoping that I was going to make gold with fishing, cooking, tailoring and enchanting. And only really one of those has proved to be very successful, and that's been the tailoring at the moment. Enchanting I'm pretty sure will get there once I've got the other ranks up, and the same with the cooking. Fishing, I've been able to obviously collect up my fish. I haven't gotten the fishing mount, so I was unlucky in not getting that. So other things we've got here, we've got Drums of Fury, managed to sell a few of those because people aren't wanting to buy the next drums, and so I've managed to get a few of those sold. I've had a few enchant cloaks, more Drums of Fury, the odd pet, nothing too extravagant, but those have ticked through. And I was able to do another stack of aromatic fish oil. I was able to get a good stack of that. I've got 756 left, and my average purchase price is only 3 gold 53, so to sell that for 9 gold was quite nice. Silkweave satchels just ticking through very nicely. I haven't tried the new deep sea bag, I haven't had many sales of those. I was able to push up the price of veiled crystals occasionally, but veiled crystals, since the Warfronts have come out, veiled crystals have really dropped in price now. You can see there the min buyout is now 1,400, so they're practically halved in price. So I've actually got 34 at an average purchase price of 2,900. So this is another example of like I did back in Legion, when I had an overstock of chaos crystals at a high price. So I'm going to have to work those down, try and get my enchanting recipes up in rank, and then balance out the profit margins, and then see if I can do something about my veiled crystals. There was actually a deep sea bag I was able to sell there, and here's some nice epic honourable combatants, mittens, braces and belt, sold for 31, 39, 27, so there's some really good prices there. This is what has really helped me tip over my gold. So to do the honourable combatants, what I've been doing is going into my tailoring, and I've been making Tide Spray Linen braces, and I'll make a whole load of those, and then what I'll do is I'll disenchant any blues to give me an Umbra Shard and some Gloom Dust, and then any of the greens I've been taking to the scrapper and getting my Expulsum that way. Currently have 4 Expulsum left. I've been using a string kindly created by Jack the Dipper. It's on his website, I'll post a link to that in the description, and that has basically been, if I go to it here, materials, Expulsum here. So that's giving me my price of Expulsum, and then with that Expulsum I've been able to make the Honourable Combatants gear. Now in order to get the ranks 2 and 3 of Honourable Combatants, you need to actually use Marks of Honour, Now the only way to get Marks of Honor is to be able to do PvP battlegrounds. So this is a new area for me, so I've been learning to do PvP as a discipline priest. I've had a whole load of fun doing it, and I've got a few things at rank 3, and I'm going to carry on and see if I can get a few more and get all of these to rank 3. Probably not worth it with the cloak. That's the only one I say wouldn't be worth doing, because you can get a pretty good cloak at level 120 once you're honoured with some of the reputations. So there's no point really making this, because people can quite easily replace it. But that said, all the other ones for me have been really quite good and quite profitable. You can see here I've got some good profit margins still, and I've got some good sale rates. So for me, this area here of tailoring has worked out really well. We've also occasionally things like the Spirit of Freedom with the turn-in for the war fronts at the moment. That's currently selling, so I've managed to sell a few of those. Never sold any of these, and obviously not bandages or anything like that. And then the occasional old world tailoring, or the mooncloth robe, the shirts, black mage weave, all those kind of things are still ticking over for a small amount. So all in all, I've had a pretty fantastic first month in Battle for Azeroth. I've really enjoyed the expansion. I'm taking my time leveling through. I'm not 120 yet, so now that I've got the mount, I'm going to work on that. But it's been really interesting learning which professions have been worthwhile, which ones not. It's a bit disappointing, to be honest, the enchanting. I was hoping that was going to do better, and the cooking, but time will tell. I'm sure these professions will mature over time, and there'll be other niches and other things we can discover. So the whole world awaits me. And so I'm hoping that gives you a few ideas as to what you could do in terms of earning some gold in Battle for Azeroth. There's still plenty of other professions out there that people are reporting varied success on. So my suggestion is go for something that sounds like fun and try it out and see how you get on. So I hope that's given you some tips and some ideas as to where you could make some gold to be able to get your very own Brutosaur Mount. I hope you have great success in your adventures and are enjoying the expansion as much as I am. So until next time, happy gold making, and I'll see you very soon.